Hello everyone. Go ahead and play some arrow. I'm gonna start by doing some gameplay. We'll talk about the list maybe as we go. But yeah, let's see if we can find a game. But yeah, let me know if you're in chat. How are y'all doing? Oh, I need to log in. 1 second. Oh no, wrong screen. Capture. Fire was already. Hey, what's up? All right. Lots of people playing Silver Age recently. Kind of curious to see how that format evolves. Should be pretty exciting though. I feel like the format, from what I've heard, at least secondhand, is that it's very, very aggressive. Um, just like lots of like 2 to 3 turn games. Hey Enzo, hey Forge, welcome, welcome. Yeah, this was originally going to be a Jarl like VOD, but the games last night did not go particularly well. Lots of salt the first time I played this list, so I thought maybe calling it HRL is a pretty apt kind of description of the deck. The thing we're basically trying out is like hungry for more on the sideboard. I think this kind of like helps a bit in divergence. Which is I think like one of the more prevalent matchups right now. But I feel like this Verdance plan is actually like really, really good. So that's one thing I want to try. Let me make sure I'm in like in public, right? Okay, yeah, I definitely have a game there. Game. Very weird. Yeah, like normally it doesn't take this long to get a game in competitive CC, but it might just be so night. Oh, audio is a little bit too low. Let me turn that up a little bit. Let me know if that's a little bit better. All right, playing against Kasai, I think still want to probably go second. And I think this is just a fat deck matchup. Don't need poison, don't need echo. Okay, but that makes sense. Fair enough. Alright, Florian. Definitely want to go first. Poison's not bad in a Florian. Alright, give them a fun. I think this is not a hungry matchup. I can see like bringing in like maybe 1 to 2 Staunch though. Might be more preference than anything. Run it like this though, bring the sledge, and then I've seen some people run Heart of Ice too. I don't know how necessary that is. Let's run it like this and see if we miss the Heart of Ice. I do like starting off on a crumble. Can't complain there. Yeah. Any thoughts on recent Talshar updates? I think the Talshar updates are fine. I haven't noticed anything like egregiously bad or anything. Seems just like they mostly did like a UI update. I know they changed like the game refresh thing. I think what else they changed. They changed like some of the buttons look a little bit different. Yeah, I think like there's definitely merit to running Heart of Ice. Let me see what well, let me pull it open on another. This is obviously one of the reasons to run multiple AB in a floor. Right, but if they're just going for a tree and not swinging here, okay, they are going to swing. Sure. All right, so take 3. Let's go ahead and just AB1. I think we'll IP with the pulse here. I might just end up sledging. Kind of depends. Let's go ahead and try to sync. Maybe you want to try to sync this Fate for later. Go ahead and sync the Fate. Alright, E-Strike is fine. I guess we're just going to pitch the sledge anyways. They actually pull up. They pull up Rob's list because he's the sideboard expert. Let's see. What does Rob say about? Let's go and just sledge here. All right, Florian. Nope, Rob's on AB1 too. All right, no Heart of Ice, just running Tunic, which I think makes a bit of sense. I feel like there was merit to running like more AB when you had to worry about like stack Florian, but that matchup was like abysmal anyways. So we'll let it go. Sorry, stuff all set up. All right. I think it's definitely one of the harder matchups, but I feel like this is not a matchup where you typically want a fat deck. I feel like most of my Florian games resolve by one person just killing the other person, not like running out of cards. Ooh, Oasis is actually not too bad here though. You generally think Fatigue Jarl is better than Stack Florian. I've been successful with stacking feels it plays on a mostly similar axis, but with better tools and more deterministic win con. That might be true. So Stack Florian, I guess the problem, I feel like Jarl maybe has like a slightly better Burdens matchup, and you also have kind of. So actually, I don't know how Stack Florian does into Gravy. That would be the one concern I think I have, is whether or not Stack Florian can beat Gravy. I think it's like Gravy and Verdance would be like the two matchups that I think Jarl maybe has a slight edge in, just because you have like the Compass Break and stuff like that. But that being said, I don't know enough about Stack Florian to necessarily make that assessment. All right, let's go ahead and just Oasis here. Selves, pitch. I'm going to pitch here. We have a blue coming up on Tunic, so I think I can just pitch the Terror for later. All right, so we'll target. I think it's this rune chain, right? Okay, AB0. We can take two. Yeah, I think the two here. Because I think we just want to. I'm assuming they're just going to like replay after this. I do also want to deny them decompose as much as possible. I've been 40-60 into Gravy. It's his worst matchup. I'm heavily favored. Oh, okay. You feel favored into Verdance' Stack Floor. That's interesting. You run like a lot of prevention in Stack Florian. I'm kind of curious to like look at a list. I think here we'll just block with these. So we have a couple options. We can peek or we can just send Sledge. I think the Sledge is like slightly better. Rune Blood Barrier, AB6, Oasis. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess Gravy would be the concern then. Like, if you feel like your Verdance matchup's pretty good, then it's probably fine. Yeah. I will say, I think, like, at the ProQuest level, like, Verdance is a lot more popular, it seems, than Gravy, or at least around here. Might be different other places. So this is almost why I like didn't want to send Sledge here, is because they're kind of gonna punish us with the root bound. I think I maybe should have just like. I feel like against a lot of these Earth heroes, what you're supposed to do, since they're just like root bound Carapace can be pretty backbreaking sometimes, is I think a lot of the time what you're supposed to do is just not even like send Sledge and just like corner peek there. I think that was maybe like a little bit too greedy. Yeah, you're in the Northeast, and half of those aforementioned Gravy games this season have been into Pheno, so oh, okay. Yeah. Alright, double felling and pitch, so we don't have to worry about that for a while. That's nice at least. Tree is also gone for what it's worth. Oh, wait, did they... Wait, hold on. Did they just like not have enough decompose? Maybe they didn't want to send felling for 4 or something, which... Wait, how does that make sense at all? Couldn't they have just blocked with the felling there? Alright, well, we're gonna take the 1 here. That was an interesting play from them. Alright, so no AB, we take the 1. Now we can sigil, gain a bit of life. And then we just want to sit on the Oaken now. We also take a little bit more damage since we do have the heart as well. There's no like good breakpoint here. I guess maybe the block is just like Macho and send 6 again. Oh, sorry, I interpreted that as Northeast and not New England, but I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Excited for Sledge Stream. Outside of Marlin and Jarl and CC, have you gotten a chance to play a Silver Age? I've not gotten a chance to play Silver Age myself. There have been some decks that I've seen do some really nasty things. Like, I think one of my friends in chat has been sending me screenshots. Hold on. It's like 90% win rate on Azalea or something crazy like that. Yeah, I'm looking at the Azalea win rate. Across 29 matches, they have a 93% win rate on Azalea, which is kind of disgusting. I feel like Silver Age is kind of in its like weird, kind of like it's in like the format infancy, right, where like people are still like kind of breaking the format a bit. Yeah, Azalea dominating a 20 life format really does suck. Like, that deck just seemed like there are certain decks in. It's kind of like LL, like some kind of similar thing to LL, where like you have some decks that are like way up here, right, and then all the other decks are like far, far below it. So you can play like 5 decks in the format, which is kind of what like Silver Age feels. You think Silver Age is a fake format until they ban Pummel? That's also probably real. Yeah. Ooh, big arcane seeds here. Okay. Okay, not that big actually. They're not on decom. Okay, this is fine. Let's play here. We can probably just sink the Reaping Blade. We're still trying to just find our Frozens at this point, right? I guess we just like pitch the Remembrance. I think we actually Fate here. Yeah, so are they actually get one thing I guess I didn't get from the Silver Age stream is are the cards in the silver or like are the cards in the new product, right? Are those like brand new cards or are they just like the same card? Like I don't think are they printing new cards for I don't think they are, right? They're not printing new cards for Silver Age unless I like just like completely did not comprehend the announcement. The pummel without sync fate is kind of annoying, but I don't know. Guardians aren't OP. That's also the sentiment that I like. It seems like it's like a 2 to 3 turn format. Evidently, the precons have new cards in them that are designed to be very competitive. Okay, very interesting. Oh, there are some new cards. Okay, okay. That I didn't understand. Or maybe I just like missed that part of the announcement. Oh, Enzo's saying something different here. There won't be any new cards in the decks, but next set will help Silver Age a lot. Okay. Maybe some. I'm not sure who in chat is right. I'll probably look it up afterwards because I think we are going to do some Silver Age like coming up on the charity stream. Yeah, I actually I don't know who's correct between Eleanor, Enzo, and Anders. Yeah, so I'm not sure myself. I guess we will have to like see what the product is, but maybe they did mention something about that. I just like don't remember hearing about it. All right, Frozen on time. That's nice. So I think one important thing, which I think maybe I'm just getting in the swing of things tonight, is I think the one kind of like major misplay we made was attacking into them before get like I think there was like a real concern here about like attacking the root pound and giving them the deals here. I think that was like our misplay tonight. Oh, I don't know. People say it's a 2 turn format, but my Verdance games go like 7 to 8 normal. Interesting. I didn't actually know Verdance was that good in Silver Age. I thought the root bound would actually hurt her a lot. Oh, the main thing I remember is them talking about the next set being really good for Silver Age. Yeah, maybe that's true. Again, I watched like the announcement stream, but the announcement stream was also like very, very long. So entirely possible I missed some parts of it. I think the most optimal lists are like reliably killing on turn 5. Interesting. That kind of makes like it's interesting because it's supposed to be like a little bit slower than Blitz, but it kind of also feels like it's maybe suffering from a lot of the same problems with Blitz. Oh yeah, Smell Fear is a rare in the new set or in the new Armory deck, right? So that'll be also playable in Silver Age. Yeah, Reiner seems like he's gonna be pretty good. Oh, we got an outed. All right, so I think they're like full fat decking me, which is probably not correct, but still fine. So I think we're just gonna give the Fiddler's Green take a little bit of damage, and when the chain closes, we'll gain that life back. So this should be fine. We did get Grasp out of the way, which is kind of nice. They did pitch 2 Fellings as well, so we don't have to worry about that for the rest of the game. Or we only have to worry about the last copy, basically. Alright, this also works perfectly fine. So let's leave the Frozen in the deck and then just block with the Eisen. But yeah, Reiner is looking to also be quite good, right? Like, I think the top, what are the top decks in like Silver Age right now? It's like Azalea's top deck. I think Aurora's kind of busted. Phi seems really good. So it's like Aurora, Phi, Azalea. Who else is really good in Silver Age? Probably this. Maybe Viserai. I feel like Viserai like maybe just like a worse Aurora. Who else? Let me like pull up the Silver Age ban list again. Card legality. Oh yeah, reduce and sigil suffering is kind of nuts. Okay, so what is the ban? Silver Age. Okay. Yeah, Zephyrnino and I feel like there are a lot of interesting cards in Silver Age that I feel like should be banned. Oh yeah, Ira is basically back, right? Like Ira LL'd in Blitz, but now everyone's legal, right? Are they doing LL in Silver Age? I feel like they're just resetting the points, right? Like, are we gonna have heroes that are also LLing in Silver Age like they did in Blitz? This hand's a little bit rough. What would I ban from Silver Age? That's a good question. I honestly don't have enough like knowledge of the format to really speak like super confidently on that. But I think like some like from what I've seen, like Ravenous Rabble seems to be a problem. Snatch also seems to be like a lot of the best decks are like running like Ravenous Rabble, Snatch. I'm trying to think of like the other good ones. Basically like all the lightning cards in the Aurora Armory deck are kind of nuts. There is some weird phrasing on the product page that mentioned rotation. Okay, interesting. We don't actually like know that just yet. Precon's also being labeled. Oh, they're labeled as chapters. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Silver Age. I'm hesitantly optimistic about it. I think it's better than Blitz, but I think that time will obviously tell. Oh yeah, we are really just doing a sludge stream, aren't we? Just realized what we've done in the past like 10 turns. No, sorry, we're only on turn 8, so it's only past 8 turns. I guess we did take a turn off to also blow up Grasp. Prince is okay. The life gain is pretty good, and the Earth Helm and Boots are 2. Running the 2 to 4 block cards and String Lord Somersault helps in aggro. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, so you basically get 2 block out of your helmet, plus the blue block, plus you get online a little bit faster. I can see it. I thought the Rootbound Carapace ban would hurt a little bit. Oh, they're just going to give base Purgatory there. Interesting. I believe the chapters thing is due to the name being Silver Age, which is a reference to the new generation of superhero comp. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, it seems like there are also a lot of heroes in Sage. Also, this channel about Heroic's kind of bad. Interesting. What do we want to do? I think so. We can't ever bloom back anything, or actually, we could ever bloom if we took the damage here. We took 3. We go to 31. We can do 1 Everbloom and then just send like Cranial or something. Sure. So I think we're actually supposed to take the damage here. Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's really cool. I didn't know there was like a little comic book reference. Yeah, I've been wanting to practice this matchup a little bit because I think it's not as bad as it seems if you're able to break Grasp a little bit earlier. I think I also did like hunt on the macro level by attacking in the Rootbound. Am I going to Worlds? No, unfortunately, just not enough money in the bank for this year. We had some unfortunate cat related expenses. So I think we're gonna pass on Worlds. I think the next event that we're maybe planning on going to is something in December. I think there's like a
Calling Seattle.
calling Seattle. Maybe that's I think the one we're like most considering going to. All right, we get the Everbloom here, which is nice. Not too bad here though. So I think okay, then maybe we want to. I don't think Florian has any way to interact with Everbloom. At least that I guess they can like deny redemption or something, or like poison. If we get poisoned, then I don't think we care. I think I just want to get back my Crumble to have in the deck. Let's go ahead and grab our Crumble. I think we're just gonna send 8 here. I guess we might as well throw the on hit in case they somehow draw a card in Florian. I don't think there's a single card in Florian that can draw cards except like Sync, which obviously doesn't matter. I think there is going to be Silver Age at the Calling Seattle. I'm not 100%. I think I heard someone talk about that. All right, we get the Bark Skin here too, which is really nice. All right, coming in for 2 over. Oh, there is Silver Age in the Battle Art in Seattle. That's pretty cool. Tegan doesn't like the form or like the Tegan wasn't a huge fan of like Blitz or Commoner. I think I'm a little bit more geared towards those forms. I think those formats are still like there is something like kind of fun about just like playing a kind of broken format, kind of like LL, right?
I liked Blitz well enough, but Commoner is completely not.
Yeah,
I like Majestic.
that's fair. Yeah, Blitz was kind of a silly format. I'm kind of glad it's gone. It's a weird attack. Interesting. I think we're just like double D-reacting here and then trying to filter towards our Oakenold. I don't know about the Sage Bands. Aggro is always good in a fresh format with while slow decks adapt. And if I recall, the dev talk said Sage isn't really real until the next set comes out. Okay, I can see that. Like, I think there's a lot we don't know at this point. So like maybe just in these like I'm willing to give the format a little bit of time to like breathe, right? Like you don't want to just like judge a format before like the format really like sticks around for a while. Like what my hope is for Silver Age is that it's a little bit more better like maintained than Blitz was. I think that was my biggest criticism about Blitz is just that like they had the format like just exist for a while, right? And then a lot of times they just like would not touch it or would not like preemptively ban things. They wouldn't like really like by the time that like the format was like being played by people at like skirmishes or whatever, the format was already kind of broken. So what I'm hoping is that Silver Age they do a little bit of a better job like proactively maintaining it instead of like just like after the fact. Playing Sage now, it's like those Cinderless people were making before Hunted was okay. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good like description for it. So, question here is whether or not we want to hold the Oakenold or just an extra 5. I kind of want to just like E-Strike here, get a little aggressive. We already used our Face Purgatory, so like it's a little bit more free to do this. I just like going off an Arsenal here. We've also not seen a Plow yet. So like keeping an Arsenal is not a super high priority. I think we're doing pretty okay though. Florian is online, which is definitely a bit concerning, but they haven't really applied a ton of pressure yet, so like we're still pretty like even on like totals. But yeah, the early Cinder lists were kind of wild too. I remember Poison Blade being the card that everyone thought was going to be like super broken, right? Yeah, raise your hand in chat if you remember the was it the Tog video where he's like oh silver Poison Blade is like the most busted card ever. I remember that. And the card is like kind of good. It's just not. It doesn't cost 0 is the only problem, right? It's funny. It's funny, like, look back on it.
Poison Blade ones are funny because it's like, well, Syndra doesn't even.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're running her. I was running Hurl. Oh, you know what? You know what the card I really liked in Syndra when I was like first picking up the deck. All right, this is gonna be like a shameful admission, but I really liked Silver Talons when I was first playing Syndra. I thought that card was really cool. That card is like egregiously bad. Also, I probably should not be running Fiddlers. Do I run Fiddlers in this matchup? Or does what? Better question: does Rob run Fiddlers in this matchup? All right, it seems like Rob does run Fiddlers, so maybe it's actually fine. Rob's word is law when it comes to the Jarl sideboarding. I'm literally just looking at his list on my other monitor, just to compare. Okay, so coming for 10. Kind of discard the Fiddlers ourselves, but that's not super appealing. You are playing a Syndra list with 9 Silver Talons. Yeah, I also remember that. I think I kind of want to just like take an off turn. And we could also just like send Sludge again. The Oasis here is like a little bit awkward now that we don't have Tunic. I kind of also don't mind just like arseling the Oasis. And I'm just going to take an off turn. I'll force them to convert a 4-card hand instead of like us trying to. E-strike. Alright, we have 1 Germate gone. Still definitely not out of the woods yet for this matchup. Their next hand is going to heavily probably influence the course of the game. I think like if they have like a really big tempo turn here. Staunch a little awkward. I still feel like you're not really supposed to like full on fat deck this matchup. I feel like someone always dies before like you actually get to the point where you like full on fatigue. Right, this is not super efficient for them. I kind of almost want to staunch this. I'll also just like block with CNC later. I guess we can just like take 6. Take 6, we go to 26. We're still 1 life above them, so they could gain some life after this. Yeah, Silver Talons was a lot of fun. I kind of missed that card. I think that card was really cool. I mean, the card's still around, obviously. You can still play it, but like, I miss when it was like a consideration, I guess. Since you said this matchup almost never goes to fatigue, shouldn't you always sledge instead of coronet whenever possible? So I think the logic, I think it depends on like the state of the game, right? So like if you're in a point, so I think like Coronet Peak's really good against Earth Heroes like early on in the matchup because like you can basically deny the rootbound decompose and like just slow their decompose to the point while you like blow up grasp and stuff. So that's why I think it was like a small punt to not Coronet Peak earlier in the game. But now that we're at this point in the game, like I think the Coronet Peak is obviously a bit worse because we just want to like pressure life total. This is similar to Rob's list. The card we're basically gonna I'll go over the list changes like kind of after this. I think we're just gonna block with. We could also just like not block with the Oaken. And let's not block with. Let's get a little greedy. But this is like very similar to Rob's list. The card I wanted to basically, I did a little like couple mini tweaks just to my liking. So I think I like cut 1 Poison the Well. I added 2 Hungry for Mores, which have actually been kind of pretty decent in the Verdance matchup. It's felt like. But those are my 2 minor changes basically. The Hungry for Mores have been interesting. Certain matchups that are like not as good just because like a 1-cost delayed sigil is sometimes kind of awkward, but I do think they get a little bit better with the Oasis as well. So like you're kind of playing like a bunch of 1-costs, which does like also stress the tunic counter a bit. I think it's like I think the Verdance plan is kind of where this deck shines a little bit more. At least for me, I felt like the Oasis have kind of helped a lot in terms of just like maintaining the life total. All right, so we have 1 Crumble in the yard. We still have 3 Ice Earth in the deck, and I think we also bottom 1 with now. So We only have 2 live for this Oaken at some point. Alright, big Arcane Seed's turn. This is the last Arcane Seeds, though, so that's nice. I think we did get grass pretty early this game, so I am kind of happy with that. Okay. Unfortunately, we got punished by the Plow Under, but that's still fine. I think we actually have like a crumble pretty close to Oaken now. So let's go ahead and just block out a little bit. What do we want to... Maybe we'll just like take one. Could also go to a lower life total just so they're not able to gain life on their turn. Like one option is we could just like Tunic, Sledge, Arsenal, CNC. I think that's actually probably the best play. Alright, so we can just go ahead and block with the Shelter here. I don't think we're a bit ahead on armor. Like Tunic does add up to a lot of value over the course of the game. Tunic is almost like our Grasp of the Arknight, but kind of worse. So we're at a lower life total now, which is kind of nice. So if they have like D-React on their next turn, and we both go to 20, which I guess means they can still gain life. But it still seems worth it, and sitting on a CNC doesn't seem that bad either. So we still have 2 more plows we do have to worry about. Like, I'm still not super happy keeping this Arsenal, but I think it's fine to try to keep it for, like, 1 turn. If they're just, like, plowing me, I'm, like, kind of okay with that. Alright, what threats do we still have to worry about? So we saw the double felling pitch, so we still have, like, 1 felling, I think, live. Them keeping a 4-card hand is mildly concerning.
2K.
Hey, we had 2K subs. Let's do it. Where is... Hold on. Pull up the YouTube page. Sick. Now we get to actually do the 2K stream. It would have been very sad if we didn't hit 2K streams before the 2K stream. But looks like we are officially at 2K. Awesome. Alright. Blanche is strange. Isn't this just like Gravy Cyber Tech? I guess they're just like super bad thinking us. But yeah, super happy to hit 2K. That's awesome. Oh. Okay. Sorry, maybe they yeah, I'm playing a little too slow. Let's just go ahead and Fate here, I think. Hi, I'm newish to the game and Jarl in general. When do we decide to swing weapon versus Coronet Peak? So I think it depends a lot on the matchup, Andrew. Yeah, that I guess makes sense. Yeah, so I think our opponent actually might have left the Blanche in, and maybe that's coming to bite them a little bit. Yeah, ouch. Ouch, ouch. Okay, let's go ahead and bottom the Fiddlers for later. For what it's worth, I also don't think we should be running Fiddlers in this matchup, but whatever. So sorry, Andrew, back to your question. So when do you Coronet Peak versus Sledge? So I think it depends a lot on the matchup, but let's just talk about Florian, for instance, right? So in the Florian matchup, we're playing against an Earth Hero, right? And one of the ways that the Earth Heroes like do their thing right is Rootbound Carapace, right? So think about the value this way. If I Coronet Peak early in the game, and my opponent's trying to get to 8 Decompose to turn on the hero ability so they get more like additional value, right? What I'm doing by attacking with a weapon instead of Coronet Peaking, so like if I attack with Sledge instead of Coronet Peak, what happens is they get to then block with the Rebound Carapace, which means they get further towards their game plan, right? So I think you saw maybe in the like beginning of the game when I accidentally like Sledge instead of when I wanted to probably like Coronet Peak instead. So basically in this matchup, what we use Coronet Peak for early in the game is just so that we can deny Rootbound while we try to find our Frozen to Death. So we're basically trying to blow up Grasp as soon as possible. There's a lot of card names, so it's kind of it's a little bit hard to explain like when to Cornet Peak, but in this specific matchup, like what we're trying to do is basically slow them down so that we can basically take out their key card, which is Grasp of the Arknight. So we're basically just trying to get rid of their ability to make a rune chant every. Yeah, is kind of the goal. Okay, so we have 5 coming in here. It actually will let us play our Sigil, which is really nice. I think we're just gonna take all this damage. So that's kind of like the logic, but Coordinate Peak in other matchups, right? So there are a lot of decks in the game that also like keeping a full hand. So like Syndra's maybe a good example. Like a lot of the assassins, like Mario, Slippy, they all like keeping a full hand as well. So what Coordinate Peak does is it lets me turn 1 blue into basically get rid of a card in your hand. And a lot of decks in the game will like scale kind of exponentially. So like I'm trying to think of a good example, like Dio, for instance, right? Dio with like a 5, a 6, or 6 card hand, right, is like significantly scarier than like Dio with like a 4 card hand, right? So basically what this is just to like deny your opponent resources so they're able to go like less wide is kind of like the goal. But it kind of like depends on the matchup, basically, is what I would say. Okay, so back to the game. What do we want to do? I can't find just like CNCing them here. I still have like 1 felling left, so I might get a felling block. They do have well grounded though still, so maybe. Kind of depends. All right, well grounded pop is to be expected here. So yeah, like I think Coordinate Peak is like a very skill testing card, and I think a lot of Jarl lists were actually like not running this card for a very long time until like the fatigue list basically came into the picture. Okay, this is okay. Maybe they forgot about the. Oh, hold on. I can. Hold on. Let me revert to the start of the turn for our opponent here. I think they're trying to de-react to CNC here, which is not how that works. All right, let's go ahead and do the same thing. Yeah, but Coordinate Peak like was not in a lot of Jarl lists for a very long time. So like it's definitely like kind of like a newer development. Just because like the fatigue Jarl lists have been doing a lot better. And this card kind of like helps with fatigue, right? By just like stripping resources from your opponent's hand. Thanks. I learned to play the game as Vincent, so Jarl's my first normal character, managing pitch and everything. Yeah, yeah. Vincent's one of those decks. Oh, they might not have put it well grounded there. That's still fine though. All right, we're not going to heave. Yeah, I think our opponent there maybe didn't need to use the well grounded. They're going to give us the 6 block here. Yeah, but everyone's learning. I think there's like a lot of questions that people have with this deck, like why not run the good earth cards? Why not run I think about other cards like run in this kind of list. It's mostly the earth cards, I guess, are like the biggest question, right? I think the main answer is they just like kind of fallen out of favor at this point. All right, so let's go ahead. I think I'm gonna overpitch a little bit here. Or I may not overpitch with the fade. I think I'm gonna. No, I am gonna overpitch with the fade. I think we're just gonna do this. Hold on to shelter for functionally a blue in case they somehow make some rune chants. Do want to find our Okins sooner rather than later. We still have all 3 Okins in the deck, and we have all 3 Ice Earth as well. We're not doing too bad. All right, opponent goes to 9. We're at like, what is this? Maybe a 12-point life lead or something like that. It's probably more with the Sink in Arsenal, right? Ooh, this might kill them here. Well, this is a little bit lucky, I guess. LOL. Yeah, it's pretty good. What does this germinate for?
Oh no!
Oh, oh no.
Oh no, that sucks.
Disaster. All right, so the nice little 8 value poison the wall there. Love to see it.
So...
Sorry, opponent.
oh, they took Or no.
Tegan's having a meltdown over there.
That's so funny. I don't think I've ever seen someone get that.
All right, so I initially cut the second poison in the well from Rob's list, but like unironically, I might just bring in a second one just for Florian because that was hilarious.
I might clip that.
Oh no.
That was so funny.
Oh, you hate to see it. Oh, I did build a similar list to the budget Jarl you did, and struggling to know when to full block versus take damage to sledge. Let me take a look at that list. So it's interesting. Like a lot of it depends on like the hero you're playing into, and like what. I guess like the biggest. So let me pull up that list. So this is like the budget griefer deck, right? This is like the hold on. I think it's this deck, right, Andrew? The one with like felling, just like Tectonic. I think this is like the $250 list or whatever. So that list, yeah, we'll go ahead and close. I guess we're just sitting sledge here. So with that list, basically what you're trying to do is like, the short answer is it's very hard to tell. Most exciting moment of the sledge stream. It's very funny. The gloves are also interesting. We'll talk about it in a second. But back to the budget list. Oh no, this is so unfortunate. So the budget list, right? Like this, it very much depends on like what point in the game you're at. So like if you're at a point in the game where you cannot outdamage your opponent by sending damage, it's normally better to block. I'd say a lot of it depends. Oh no, oh no, what is this hand? Okay. I guess we're gonna just keep the Terror Sender. Our opponent's gonna be struggling here. But a lot like the key takeaway from this list is like understanding what your win condition is, right? So like against Florian, your win condition is gonna look a lot different than your win condition against Syndra, right? Like some decks will run out of cards a lot faster than other decks. And like there's also like evasion you have to like worry. Like there's a lot of like intricacies to like knowing what your win con is, right? And I'd say like a lot of that will just come with experience. But in general, if you think you're in a position where you cannot out damage your opponent, then it's normally better to go for blocking. But if you think you're in a position where you can like take tempo from your opponent and just try to beat them down, then it's normally better to attack, right? Yeah, our opponent might be dead here. I think they are. Oh no, they're not dead. They can Everbloom. Or no, they need another Everbloom. Oh, they get shelter. Okay. I think it might have been better. I guess it depends. It doesn't really matter, right? I guess it's functionally the same amount of damage. Yeah, but I'd say this is a pretty good Florian game for us. I guess we'll just go ahead and tear now. So like in this matchup, right? Like I think our win condition was kind of just like beating them down just because we like kind of drew the nuts with the poison in the well. Which I am actually just gonna like. All right, this has sold me on the second poison in the well. Kind of hilarious. What do we want to cut for the second poison?
I'm mad on their behalf.
Yeah, I would be too. That's fair. I kind of want to like go to. Let's try going down on Midas Touch for the other poison.
That is bullshit. What you did to that person.
Yeah. All right, poison. All right, go ahead and finish the game off. Hopefully, we'll see. Yeah, RKO can be. So RKO is an interesting one. So RKO kind of can do both, right? Which makes the matchup pretty interesting. I'll give them a cheat. I've also struggled in RKO. Like it's definitely like a tougher matchup because like RKO is doing a very similar thing, right? Like where they're wanting to, like they have very good numbers. They can kind of play off any hand size. They're running a lot of D-reacts, like that kind of thing. So that was that was me, and that sucked. Yeah, I don't blame you, Mike. That's very funny. Tegan is laughing with you, not at you.
I agree, it sucked. I feel bad for you.
Yeah. Okay, but let's. I'm gonna add the second poison because that was hilarious. I want to do that again.
It was really funny.
It was really funny. Okay, so let's go over the Jarl deck. So this is basically largely based off of Rob's list. So I think I had Rob's list open. Second, let me pull that up again. This is largely based on Rob's list. I'm just kind of doing some testing on my own because I might end up bringing this to a pro quest. Assuming that I maybe want to play like. I think this deck is like better for my pro quest meta, but like I don't know. I might just like hard commit to Marlin again. So let me pull up Rob's list. So if you haven't seen this list, I think I've like shouted this list out like 3 times at this point. So this is Rob's list. Let me pull it up. All right, Rob's list here. Okay, this is Rob's list. He has a video on it. You should go watch it. It's a really good starting point for just like the fatigue version of Jarl. So like basically, the whole point of this deck is to run your opponent out of resources, play very efficient cards, and then just like outvalue your opponent over the long game. So that's the core idea. So I'm basically taking a lot of the initial ideas in this list and I'm trying to iterate on them, see what works, see what doesn't. One of the things that I'm trying to figure out with this list is like how to beat verdants. Because I think like this list I think was made at a time before Light Up the Leaves was legal, right? So Light Up the Leaves, like card. So Light Up Leaves, new addition to Verdance, obviously, very, very good card. So it's basically the 4th through 6th copy of Burn Bear. One thing that Verdance can do, I've tried like playing this list a lot, and one thing that I feel like Verdance can do is just like kind of Burn Bear you to death, like just by like buying the back, either with like Sotomorrows or like Remembrance, whatever. Like there's a lot of actually like minor tech cards that Verdance can run to make it a bit harder to stay at like a high life total. So basically the iterations I'm trying are basically Oasis in the main board, which I think is reasonable if you're running Rampart, just to like use up extra resources. The other addition that I want to try into Verdance is Hungry for More. So this is basically like this is basically the 4th and 5th copy of Sigil Solace, which is basically this is like the better version of the card, right? So you get 0 for 3, instant, gain 3 life. But this is like the worst version of the card, but it kind of still works in the deck. So like it's 2 block, which is not great. Like you don't bring this into a ton of matchups, but into like very long fatigue matchups, it's actually not that hard to play out this card, right? Like you can basically like if you're pitching like 2 blues to like Sledge or something, and you have like a couple extra resources floating, you can like play out Hungry for More, gain a little bit more life. So this has actually helped. This and the Oasis has felt like a little bit better into Verdance. So this is like kind of what I've been working on. That's like slightly different from Rob's original list. I think I've like tweaked the blues a little bit just to be a little bit more consistent. Or like I think I'm like on like a slightly lower blue count, but that's just kind of like to make room for like the good reds and stuff. So anyways, this is like my current CC list that I'm just trying out. Like I'm mainly trying to figure out like how much Hungry for More is too much. Like I think 3 is maybe like a little too much, but like I think 2 is probably like a pretty good sweet spot. So I want to kind of like try this out. And yeah, that's pretty much the Jarl list. If anyone has any questions, let me go through chat again. Pull up the chat. Okay, so what do we have? So Verdance did the double heal pot combo me for 30 damage. The other, yeah. So this is what this deck is like kind of trying to beat, right? So basically our goal is to get to like 60 or something against Verdance, and then like once they start like sending damage, we want to keep like a 40 life buffer basically, so that they can't like pot combo us. Is kind of like the idea. Dank Train Tom asks, are you on Roiling Fisher at all? I found it's really strong for destroying CMT and ROR. What is ROR? Hold on. Is that an acronym that Fabry will organize? ROR. ROR. Why am I not? Hold on.
Ring of Roses.
Ring of Roses. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yep. I knew it. Okay. So Roiling
like runic or reclamation?
So yeah, the question I guess is about roiling. I'll pull that up. So yeah, Roiling Fissure. This card is interesting. It's just very cost prohibitive. So like, the nice thing about this card, right, is that like you put in your blue base, it's like fairly low opportunity cost, right? But playing this out on like a tree or like a CMH is not actually that efficient if you think about it. Yeah, Ring of Roses. We finally got there, Ironside. But yeah, so Roiling Fissure is like an interesting card, but like if you're playing this against like a channel Mount Heroic or you're playing against a tree, a lot of times you're like actually not doing, you're not like really gaining a ton of value out of it, right? Like you're basically paying four resources to blow up a tree, but you're also having to like keep cards back that you're just like not blocking with, which is kind of like the biggest like downside of this card. Like I think it's an interesting utility card, like if your opponent like plays out a tree, doesn't swing for some reason, and then like just like has like a bad follow up. Like I think it's like okay, it's just not as if it's not like a surefire like silver bullet like some of the other cards that are like Poison the Well is like a silver bullet. This card is like sometimes nichely situationally good. Is I guess like the one critique I have about this card. Like, what if you have leftover cards against them? Isn't it? It isn't rare to happen. Verdance gives you a lot. I think it's like okay. Like if you're seeing a lot of like Verdance and Florian at your locals, I think it's fine. There are just like some downsides of the card. Like mainly not being a popper is pretty bad. Like not being like a X plus cost or like a 3 plus cost is also really bad for like Titan's Fist value. So like I think there are pros and cons to this card. Like I just don't think it's like a silver bullet in the same way that like the other silver bullets in the deck are like Poison the Well, stuff like that. Like we saw Poison the Well in that Florian game was like kind of insane, right? But if we had like Roiling in that situation, it's like okay, we have a blue 3 block in our deck. Maybe it's insane if it like lines up, but like it's not really a card we're like trying to like play towards. I guess it's like a low opportunity cost that you can like put in the main deck is what I would say. But I'm not sold on it though. But anyways, let's go ahead and try to get into another game. We can still like talk more about the deck kind of as we're going. So let's try to get a gravy. Everyone loves the gravy matchup. All right, let's go first. Let us blow up their equipment early and often. All right, we definitely want the Mice touches, and then I kind of also don't mind the staunch. I know some people. I think I'm gonna go. Let's try one staunch. Let's do a spicy staunch. That's fair. I've just found the only way Burns really beats me is with Tall Arcane plus CMT. So that's what the Oasises are basically trying to do. Because Oasis lets you kind of block a lot of those like tall Burn Bear turns. But like Roiling Fisher is not like a card you can really like play. Like you can like try to Arsenal or Roiling Fisher, but like I feel like it maybe just like doesn't line up as much as I would want it to. I guess that's like my main kind of critique of the card. Right, so unfortunately here we do not have Coronet Peak, so we can't like discard our Fiddlers ourselves. I think it's still fine here, just like send in a Titan's Fist. I think we'll IP with the Fiddlers since it's pretty early in the game. Alright, just looking to hopefully find our Crumble sooner rather than later. I did actually beat a Gravy without ever blowing up Compass, so it is definitely doable. Right, Blood could be pretty good here if they discard an ally. Nope, no discard. Sure. Arsenal Fate. I mean, Dio is pretty good right now. Why pivot? I'm not sure if you're responding to someone else. I normally don't play Dio very much. I think there's nothing wrong with the deck though. I think it's just kind of like not my kind of deck. Oh, you're playing Dio. Oh, okay. I see. Sorry, I misinterpreted that. Okay, yeah, Dio is pretty good right now. Yeah, I think Dio's like very very good. She's like in a very good spot. Like I think she can kind of contend with a lot of the Earth decks. And like supposedly her Cinder matchup's actually favored for her, right? Yeah, I think Dio's actually been doing quite well. Alright, so we got a Scuba. So Scuba is one of those like must kill allies. Kind of. So I kind of almost want to just like CNC this, but maybe we're fine just giving the Oaken here. I also pitch the Oaken just to like save it in the deck. But then in that case, we're like leaking one, which also gives a gold, which I don't love. So I think we're gonna take the risky play here and just like try to clear a Scuba with Guidance Fist. It's true. I mean, I also am pretty bad at remembering hooks sometimes. It happens. Happens to the best of us. So I think I'm gonna take the risk here, and if they blow me out, or like it's not even that big of a blowout if they just do the Fearless Confrontation, but like it's obviously still pretty good for them. Oh yeah, you're good. But yeah, Stash IO is okay. Thank God Florian is worse Earth Hero because that matchup sucks and Verdance play. Yeah, I think supposedly from what I've heard, like Verdance is a pretty good matchup for Dio. All right, no Fearless Confrontation, please. One time. Yay, no Fearless. All right, the ally died this time. Fantastic. Always a gamble. Double chart is spooky, but I guess I didn't hit off the first chart, which is nice. think they just like double discarded blue, right? Or double hit blue. All right, show me 2 reds. One time. All right, double blue. I will also accept double blue. Double blue is functionally like -1 card in deck, kind of, if you think about it. Or minus like 2 cards, functionally. Because you're just like pitching a blue, functionally. But I guess you also get to like play allies or whatever. I'm okay with this, is what I'm saying. Alright, Diamond Amulet is scary later on. Oh, we do have our Visages. I didn't even notice that. So, we have the first step, which is to find the Crumble. Now we just need to find Frozen after. Alright, so we're in a good spot here. Yeah, Florian I think is pretty rough for Dash historically. So yeah, I don't blame you. That matchup does seem a bit more cursed. Alright, so we got a nice clear on the Swabby here also. This is really good for us. Oh, maybe they don't want to play the Swabby just yet. Also reasonable. Oh, do they revert the entire turn? Okay. We're gonna be here a while. That's fine. They want to discard some. No, they did the same discard. Okay, that's good. They gravy now. They want to put the Swabby in the bin. That makes sense. So I think they put the Diamond Amulet in the bin before. And they maybe just want to swing with the Swabby instead. Swabby coming in. Nice thing is they can't play out their Amulet this turn. So I think our turn is pretty easy here. We're just gonna get Crumble, or no. Oh shit, we should not, sorry, hold on. We're gonna take our first undo. Hold on. Oh no. I think they passed. So we actually need to hold on to the Viz, because Visage has to go again, we can Titan Fist on the Swabby, so we need to only block 4 here, functionally. I want them to do the play originally, or I want them to notice the Swabby. There you go. Alright, coming in. This is partially my fault. Right, Fate. So we go back down to 40. Midas Touch. I don't know, just like bottom. I want to find like Frozen as fast as possible. I guess we're gonna shuffle anyways. So I guess it doesn't matter. But opting makes us look cool. Oh boy, this turn is taking a while. Okay, so we've seen 2 charts, which both kind of whiffed, which is pretty good for us. Not a ton of allies on their side either, so I feel like their gravy draw is not actually that good. It's like okay, but nothing like crazy, right? All right, might hit them with a refresh here. Let's see. The things I'll do to get gravy practice. I think you really don't need to practice this matchup as much, though. I don't know. Alright, it's imposing them. Really good next hand, and then we just also get to sit on Oasis, which is nice here. I'm kind of a big fan of Oasis, and like I understand the rationale for not running Oasis right now. It's like kind of clunky into a few decks, like Syndra, I think. But I kind of just accept the clunkiness, I think. Still like the card a lot. I just think it's pretty decent. Ever Crumble, Compass, hopefully kill a Swabby, unless they have like double Fearless here, in which case that's 2 less Fearless in the deck. Alright, so we're in a good spot here. Opponent has kind of gotten unlucky with the chart the high seas, so I think that's doing us a lot of favors now. And we have some Oasis for Nick. Okay, it's a good hand. So if they double ally here, we do have like E Strike, Remembrance, something like that. Nothing we really want to remember. Actually, the Remembrance is not terrible. Get back like a CNC and Oaken. Otherwise, not super exciting. I'd say we're probably ahead at this point, though. Their opponent just doesn't have a ton of resources on their side. All right, some big thinking going on over there. Oh. Slamming the dink, huh? Dink. The dink has been slammed. This is actually a scenario. Oh, they have double dink. Okay. Can't. This might be just like a non-functional hand, which is fair. So I think what we're gonna do here. The only awkward thing about like playing the Remembrance is like, I guess it's not that bad. We get to like shuffle, crumble, Oaken, CNC back. Maybe we're still just like doing that anyways. Okay, so we're gonna go. So we're doing this to play around Fearless. We're gonna play around like one Fearless, but if they have double Fearless, then Humperdinck I guess gets to live. But the chances of them drawing that are like pretty low. I will play around one Fearless here. I guess we will just Remembrance, even though it does kind of like mess with our stack at this point. So like we're like maybe less likely to draw into the Frozens. I think getting it out of the deck is like reasonable though. It's kind of a liability sometimes against Gravy. I think I just like getting a decent value Remembrance there. And we're still sitting on Oasis for next turn. I'm thinking about it. So I do have some practice like playing this deck fast. And it's incredibly stressful. It's the one thing I will say. That is like the biggest downside of this deck and why I kind of think I probably should just bring Marlin instead. But it's not like completely out of the question. It's definitely like a hard deck to pilot though, because like there's like a social component to it, right? Where you have to like remind your opponent about the time and like make sure that the game is like progressing to the point where one person wins, right? So it's not a deck for people who don't like confrontation, which I think I am also kind of one of those people. All right, so I think they're just playing out an Amulet here, in which case we should just Staunch plus Fiddlers, and then we have like 4 block on the back, or we can also Oasis. I think it's fine. But yeah, this deck is like it's a double-edged sword bringing it to ProQuest. Yeah, have no time to eat, go to the bathroom, etc. is rough. I normally don't like eat a ton during ProQuest, for better or for worse. I do need it more. Okay, Bowden has scooped it up. Maybe seeing the writing on the wall. Let's see where we could find our Frozens. So our Frozens were like pretty deep down, but we did just shuffle, so maybe we kind of deserve that. But we weren't doing too bad even without the Frozens. All right, let's see if we can maybe find another match. Let's try an RKO. Let's try like. Oh, we can try Frozens. Okay, yeah. Let's.
Don't do it.
Yeah, RKO is just kind of.
Let the.
All right, so this is a really good matchup that we can hopefully try to illustrate the value. I'm gonna bring in like. I have like one Staunch in this match. So what I'm gonna try to do in this matchup is try to highlight the value that Crown or Cornet Peak is gonna give us. Assuming their opponent wants to play it out here. May or may not. You're constantly stacking your events is why, yeah, that's like totally fair. I think I do try to bring snacks. Obviously, like eating snacks while you're like playing is hard because you don't want to get like gross gamer hands, right? Yeah, you don't want Cheeto hands. So I don't know. I feel like I do like pretty well on time even when I am playing Sword deck. Okay, opponent is disconnected. Very valid. Oh, they're looking for the best deck in the format. Is that Jarl? Could be Jarl. Yeah. But matchup can definitely be okay. Let's do Acilio. So Acilio is just AB3, Coronet Peak, Titan's Fist, and then Hungries are like kind of reasonable. And then we obviously want the amulet as well. Let's run like this. Hungry is also a way to punish them. Okay, they want to leave. Also reasonable. This is why Jarl recording is like so hard, by the way. I tried to get some games yesterday because our original plan was we were gonna go to Armory tonight and then like just put out a VOD of Jarl. But like recording games with this deck is like sometimes pretty brutal because like people either get tilted, leave, not want to join. I think that this deck is like kind of why I call it toxic Jarls because it's like people just like don't want to play against it, which is like reasonable. That's fine. But all right, let's see if maybe see if we can connect to it. Might be our game. All right, let's try. Let's refresh it. But yeah, this deck is like kind of a griefer deck, kind of like Arachne, right? Similar deck. I think this deck does better into the field though than Arachne does. Like Arachne, they kind of struggle into Gravy, I think. Supposedly Verdance is not that bad. What else is not bad for Arachne? I think Syndra is rough, from what I've heard. I think you can beat Syndra, but like, why play Jarl when cooler Guardians like Valda are out there? Levian, I actually don't know how to say the second part of your username.
Ban that.
Ban that no.
Ban that person.
But Levian, I think you raise an interesting point. And my counterpoint to that is Valda has just been set. I don't know. I think people not liking fatigue is lame. It's important to learn how to beat fatigue. I agree with that. I do like. I don't like that I have to build the deck like this though. Like I think that's pretty reasonable. I've had a lot of good matches in Syndra on Huntsman. I think you can build Huntsman in a way where the deck is a bit better in Syndra. I think at least from what I've heard from locals, that matchup can be a little bit rougher, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe we can get Alex in here. Kind of wanted to see the Acilio matchup. Lol, I went to a PQ about a month after I started playing Match into one. Oh, we're playing against Tasha. Okay, Tasha's probably in chat right now. All right, let's do the Mario. So this is like, I think just like a heavy fatigue matchup. I almost am like halfway tempted to bring in like a poison. I think we'll just go with the sledge here. All right, let's run it. Thank you for providing us content, Tasha. I appreciate it. That's also entirely. Ooh. I think Tasha is probably just wanting to give us a game, which is reasonable. Yeah, it's a Rainbow Pitch rematch. I think we played Swiss at some point.
Last round of Swiss.
Oh yeah, I think it was like last round of Swiss. Oh. Oh wow. Oh, good. All right, let's do a Tasha rematch. All right, I think I'm off to a pretty okay start here. Gaining 6 life on turn 0 is pretty good. I will admit that. Maybe a little bit lucky. We could have actually gained 7 life here if we wanted to, but actually, there's probably should Arsenal Sigil. Whatever. It's been a long night. So yeah, actually, the better play there was to Arsenal the Sigil almost 100%, right? I saw the double Sigil greed and my eyes kind of lit up. All right, coming in with the Clave. Sure. So I think our plan here is just pitch the Remembrance for later. Mario is pretty scary though. So I'm kind of thinking this is maybe like a CNC here or something. Kind of feels like it at least. So why Arsenal Sigil? So the best way to explain that is because it's like bait, right? Like we can bait Tasha. Like let's say Tasha goes for a CNC, right? We get to sit on, like, it's basically the same as playing it out, because like having an arsenal is basically like a fifth card, but it does play around Codex of Frailty, and it also plays around like it encourages your opponent to try to disrupt your arsenal, basically. It's kind of logic. So I think here I don't really love this. It's so awkward. Go ahead and just like 7 block this and maybe just like Cornet Peak. I don't know. This does like kind of guarantee. You can also like just try to fish for a blue and like sit on the Remembrance. I think it's better. All right, we find the exact same card. White Sledge, that's basically to yeah, Chris, I think that basically kind of nailed it on the head. So let's go ahead and just Cornet Peak here. So why Sledge on turn 1? Basically Sledge takes 2 cards out of their deck. That's kind of logic, right? So we Sledge on turn 1 just so that we have 2 less cards to worry about later on. This hand's nice. We get to potentially hold on to a blue. All right, so we want to be careful not blocking the Kiss of Death, ideally. So I think we're just going to say no blocks on this. See what happens. So yeah, the logic behind Sledge on turn 1 is just take 2 cards out of the deck, no matter what the cards are, right? So this is fine. Kind of just want to Oasis this. The issue with Sync blowing here is obviously Tarantula Toxin is like the biggest reason, like the downside. Another downside is potentially Codex here, which they do have a target for. I think you can. Yeah, I think you've always been able to Cornet Peak yourself. All right, so let me think through the turn. So I think here, I think I'm just Oasising. We can still also like Sink Below after this. We don't have an attack in Arsenal yet, so I guess Codex doesn't do anything right now. I think we're just going to target the Kiss of Death here, just gain a little bit. This is fine. I think our plan here is to still just like Cornet Peak next turn, and then Arsenal is Sync. Okay, I think this still... Okay, seems good. We can also Sledge here if we wanted the 6 value. I don't think that's completely unreasonable. Is 6 value better or worse than the Cornet Peak? I think the 6 value might actually be a little better. We do go off Tunic Counter though. I think I've sold myself on the Sledge. Yeah, so the way you've historically been able to... So the reason I'm able to Cornet Peak myself is because I have manual targeting on. So if you go in the Talishar settings menu, it's like the little hamburger up here. And then you do skip overrides and manual targeting. That allows you to like Cornet Peak yourself. So I don't think they change anything about that. I think I just like have that enabled by default because I was playing some Jarl. But yeah. I think here there is like a real argument to like holding on to the Tunic Counter. Is like they can just ignore 6 damage, right? Alright, coming in with the Clave. Sure. Already marked, so it doesn't really matter. Right, Spinnerets. Yep. Alright, so another instance where we don't really want to block because Tarantula Toxin exists. So I think this is fine to just hold back a little bit. We have plays even if they don't send anything after this. I think this is fine. Alright, Stains is okay. Yeah, I think we'll just take our 6 here. Could try to get the Crumble online too with the Visage next turn. So, like, we have options. This also does clear the mark, which is kind of okay. I actually kind of like this play, so we do both here off the Everblow. Oh, actually, we don't even have a target. Funny thing we could do is actually like get rid of the Leaveno. It's maybe too cute. That's kind of funny. Let's do it. I don't think that's correct, but it is kind of hilarious. So we do that to basically get rid of Codex. Or like we don't have to worry about Codex for a little bit. I think we're just gonna keep peeking though. I want to take as many cards out of hand as possible. Oh, they do have Tunic up. Maybe this doesn't actually take a card. There's almost certainly like a better play there. All right, we're getting to the point in the night where my plays are starting to degrade pretty fast. So bear with me. We're gonna be on a little adventure together. What was the better play then? So we didn't have. The better play was maybe just a block with the Everbloom because we didn't have a target for it. Yeah, that's my bad. Okay, so coming with the Clave again. Good Fiddler Screen excuse at least. Oh, you believe that was actually a good play? All right, convince me on how that was a good play. Oh, we got a Spring Click. Okay. Interesting. I'm not convinced that was a good play, but maybe it was. Maybe we just like didn't want to block on the Kisabeth. Maybe that was the logic. Oh, we've seen all the stains at this point. Ooh, double Blood Rot. Okay. Spooky. Pulling this for the Death Touch. So I think here we're gonna just try to filter as much as possible. Codex is like an okay play now. Not yeah, okay. So like we basically like removed the Codex. Maybe that is like reasonable. So what do we want to do here? I think I want to like ideally hold on to the Oasis. So let's try to filter towards a blue. I think we might just like double or no. I think we're gonna get rid of the Oasis. I think I've sold myself. So get rid of the Oasis. I think we're. No, I should have blocked with the Midas Touch. What am I doing? Okay, this is still fine. So we sink below the Midas Touch now. Still super awkward. I should have blocked with the Midas Touch there, almost 100%. Hard to talk and also play Fab at the same time. Who would have thought? All right, let's try to make a good play. Okay, we got a Schism. What do we have in our? Oh, wait, we have a Terra Center in Arsenal. Interesting. Okay, Terra Center is not like the worst arsenal in the world, but it's not great. It is very funny though. So I think there was definitely. So the play that turn was to block with the Midas Touch, sink below, try to sink towards blue. That was the correct play. We do have Heart now. Yeah, Peak is also good. Yeah, the Terra Center here is like actually really awkward. Take her Clave though. Alright, flick in the Kalissura now. Here. Spot. Alright, is back. Yep. I think that might be. Alright, second spinner. I kind of want to just maybe try to catch in some blocks on this Oaken. Maybe it's like a little premature with like unknown cards in hand. I kind of like don't even care if my arsenal gets blown up here, so I almost am fine getting like Leap Node. Alright, this seems like a decent excuse to just use the gauntlets, and the worst case scenario, we can just like Oasis this. This is fine. Alright, we got good gauntlets value at least here. I guess we can tear now. Oh, they didn't oh, maybe they're not running any traps. Also tracks. At least Terra Sunder could be pretty disruptive here. Yeah, the Schism is actually like kind of annoying. Is Slippy not good? I've played versus Mario and Huntsman quite a bit, but legit never Slippy. So, Andrew, it's really interesting because I think Slippy what was the card? Sorry, Bonds of why am I blanking? Bonds of Agony. Sorry. Pre Bonds of Agony, I think Slippy and Gravy are basically like the two decks to beat, right? But the problem is they banned Bonds of Agony so that like Slippy is a lot less powerful now, so I think you've seen a lot more. I got Tunic for Sledge and Arsenal fight. Yeah, it's a better play. This is like that's like a strictly better play. We were gonna commit to the line here. That's fine. Um, just sometimes it's okay to misplay. That's fine. I don't want to like undo. I'm trying to get in the habit of like not undoing as much, but that is like a strictly better play. Sometimes I just get distracted by chat. But yeah, Slippy is kind of in a weird spot right now where I think like Mario and Huntsman are doing a little bit better just because they have like better tools. So we can block 6 here. No. I think we were still supposed to like give the fiddlers. I think the block is like this, right? Block like this. If we have a Codex here, it's still fine. Like, to the point is also okay, so we'll draw a random card here. But yeah, I think it's strictly better to the Tunic there. Alright, we made like 4 misplays this game, so let's try to like focus on the gameplay a little bit more. I think yeah, we're getting to the point in the night with the Jarl gameplay where I'm just like losing my mind. Which happens. I'm also still like kind of recovering from being a bit sick, so bear with me. Alright, we'll see if we can unpunt ourselves out of this game. So I think we've missed a lot of value this game. Having the Oasis and Arsenal is actually a really big deal. Cut from the same cloth is fine. No CNC yet is still pretty good for us. Tunic, dagger. So I think this is just an opportunity to just take a turn off and peek. So if they Arachne flick the Hunter's Clave, your Texas Stealth. So this will get the +1 and it'll draw a card, which is still fine, I think. That is T-Toxin. Okay, first T-Toxin out of the way. Yeah, T-Toxin really good. I kind of think so. We have a couple 1 costs in the deck, so I almost kind of want to just sledge it, or I want to Cornet Peak here. Because like the 6 damage might not actually matter, but taking a card out of their hand might matter more. Like, I think I should actually be Cornet Peaking a lot more than I should be here, or like than I have been. I think I should be using this a little bit more. Is Oasis worth it without Rampart? I think Oasis is like pretty good in the Rampart matchups, but I think it like into Assassin especially, like I think it's generally correct to just like kind of bring in all your like react effects, even if they're not like amazing. Oasis letting you like kind of like play around disruptions pretty important. I still like it in this matchup. It's just a little bit more awkward because you have to like pitch to pay for it and stuff like that. Right, so this is still value for us. We get to Cornet Peak and then sit on the Staunch. All right, they do have the a good Codex target now, though. It's like a little bit concerning. All right, let's peek. Keep peeking. But yeah, we definitely missed a fair bit of value this game. All right, we have 2 Justin X also like in the pitch stack, which is kind of crazy. They do need to play around like double Justin Nick at some point. I feel like the overcrowdeds have not necessarily been super impressive, though, so that's nice. Right, leaking a little bit of damage from the Clystera, so I think they probably have another Orb Weaver here. Right, so there's last blue Orb Weaver. And then I'm gonna block here. I think I'll just like maybe make her have something. We block with the Midas Touch. I think we do just need to kind of like lean into blocking if that's kind of our core game plan. I am fine just like giving this block. I don't want to like give up the tempo a little bit. Oh, I've seen Coercive a little bit. Oh, this card's really interesting. I've seen this is like the second Mario list I think I've seen this in. I'm curious if this is like a recent development. I've seen this card be like pretty okay. So banish top card of the deck, play contract this way, it gets go again. So banishing a Terra Sunder is fair. Okay, so Sledge or Peak. Still think it's Peak. I think on a turn. Oh, that Arachne flip is also quite unfortunate. Wait, did I? Oh, hold on. I peeked myself. Alright. Take the correct hero. I definitely played this game like wrong several turns though. I think we're doing a little bit better at least past couple turns. Definitely lost our pretty good lead at the start. I am getting lucky with the flips though. I think it's like the second trapdoor with no traps in deck, which is very unfortunate. Red Orb Weaver, it's fine. Another Red Orb. Okay. Into the Kiss of Death. Okay, so coming in for 9. Pretty easily just staunch this. I guess the question is there something better we can do than just pay 10 into staunch? We could also like staunch plus Oasis, which would allow us to peek to get rid of the tunic counter and then Arsenal another staunch. I think that's actually a better play. It does mean we have like less Oasis in the deck, but that's maybe fine for right now. So I think that's probably still the play. We get 1 additional life off of this, which is also quite nice. Tunic plus guard. Oh, maybe just for graphene. Yes, this makes. Yeah, okay, because they also get to flick the Kiss of Death. Yes. Okay, so this makes sense. Let's go ahead and staunch here, and then Oasis the Kiss of Death so the flick doesn't do anything. So I was thinking we Oasis here. So I'm actually kind of getting rewarded for this because they're gonna try to flick the Kiss of Death on the next chain link. But I think this is still better because we're gaining 1 life, so we're like kind of going net positive on the turn cycle, if that makes sense. But I think this is like a lot better for us in this scenario just because Tasha pulls the tunic, right? Attacks with the Clystra, or maybe not attacks, not attacking with the Clystra. I guess it's still like 1 damage here. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and keep peeking. I think my logic was I just want to get like +1 value on this turn, like +1 additional life, just so we have a little bit of buffer. And like keeping the Oasis in the deck is not necessarily like the most important thing in the world. I'm hoping that the Coronet Peak is at least being a bit annoying this game. I also want to try to find an excuse to use her quick dodge at some point. Got an Oaken here. Could be a really good turn depending on what Tasha has. Alright, coming in for 2. This will clear the mark. I wonder if this is like the quick dodge turn. We do have Tunic up as well. Plus Staunch. I kind of see it. Kind of want to. But then like quick dodge is like gone for good. I'm just supposed to take the 2 though. It does also clear a mark, which is like pretty good. I think this is like maybe too cute of a quick dodge. Alright, yep, CNC is pretty good. We can still actually use Tunic here just for quick dodge, which I think is actually kind of good because it lets us now Oaken. Yeah, I don't mind this. So we're gonna give up our quick dodge here, but I think that's worth it to have like a decent turn. So we quick dodge, we pitch the pulse. Second CNC out of the way, although we do have 3 codexes still to worry about. This should buy us a decent bit of time. And then they would need double D-React plus armor to cover this. So I think we're in a good spot. Alright, Oaken save us. Alright, so we've kind of recovered a little bit of that early lead we had, although we did use a bit of armor to kind of do that. Hungry for more, not amazing on this hand. Alright, if I take a look at Rainbow and Movable Guardian and Silver Age, I've heard that's pretty decent. I don't know what Guardian is like the best in Silver Age right now. I know Terra's pretty okay. What other good Guardians are there? I think like there's Valda, right? Who else is in Silver Age? What do we want to do with this turn? I think it's another turn where I just want to like Coronet Peak. So I almost just want to like strike here. The Codex is not very good because we do have the shelter, right? I think I'm kind of fine just like doing this. Yeah, that's a good question. Like that's the biggest thing, right? Is like why do like rainbow unmovable when like a lot of the more prevalent decks right now are just doing like 0 for 4 tribal. I'm also hungry for worrying on our turn just in case they want to like go for a codex after we do stuff. Kind of what don't want to, I want to like deny that possibility even if it means the hungry is like a turn behind. Yeah, I think like the rainbow and movable deck is interesting if you're like meta is Azalea, which I mean Azalea is like I think if not the best deck, one of the best decks right now. Um, I don't know if you need that much hate for Azalea. Right? Right, Mark of the Black Widow coming in. So we have options to staunch or fate this. So I'm just gonna see what happens. I think I'm gonna lean towards staunching though. See what this take up the mantle is. Is a Kiss of Death, which we can block with the staunch here. And we also do have the fallback on the fates if we need to. Right, so we cover this perfectly. It's good. So since Tunic is up, I kind of want to just sludge this turn and just sit on the fate. 2 cards to block 4 isn't good. Yeah, that's a good point. What is blue? Blue immovable is block 5, right? Or it's 2 cards to block 5, isn't it? Or something like that. What would be your pick between Puffin and Marlin in CC? Oh, sorry, I missed your comment earlier. I like Marlin personally, but maybe that's just because I enjoyed the deck a little bit more. I'm not really. Ooh, all right. Black Widow is kind of scary. All right, we might be in a little trouble here. Oh, but we can dump our hand, so it's actually fine. This is gonna be a very funny reveal off the cut from the same cloth. But yeah, personally, sorry, I don't know. Rakim second. Yeah, I personally like Marlin a bit more in CC, but I do know that Puffin's also doing okay. Like I think she won a pro quest recently. I think she might even have more LL points than Marlin at this point. I think like they're both pretty reasonable decks. His hand's kind of disgusting the more I look at it. So the one important thing is that we do have to. So the Glycera can get the on hit from the Black Widow. I think we're just gonna block 6 here. Even though it kind of like sucks to block 6 with Tarantula Toxin, but I think that's fine. We're gonna gain a lot of life here, which is quite nice. The one concern is our arsenal might go away if they have like a CNC on the turn as well. This could get scary. Okay, so the Clave cannot get the buff, or the Clave target assassin attack. So this isn't so it can get the buff like the +3 on it, but it cannot get the on hit. I think because it's not a stealth. We'll take the extra 1 here. This is still fine. Codex is obviously the biggest issue right now, especially if it's like CNC Codex, which is pretty likely at this point. The question is, I guess, how they pay for it. Sure. So leave no's good. Yeah, this is all fine, I think. Yep, so we'll go ahead and just fate this now. Alright, discarding Kiss of Death, I can't complain with that. It's fate. And bottom the CNC just so they don't get a silver. I think we're good to just get hit by this, right? So this doesn't have the on hit because it's not a stealth attack. We will get 1 banish off the top, which is glacial, so we're chilling still. I think end of turn we are gonna just tunic hungry just so we get these online sooner rather than later. It also gives us an extra energy counter. Um, is Staunch legal in Project, or sorry, not Project Blue, Silver Age? Staunch response. I don't see it on the ban list. Is Staunch? I feel like Staunch might be more interesting in Project. Or no, is Staunch a rare? Hold on. Let me look this up. Staunch response. Staunch response is a rare, so you can play it in Project Blue, right? Or Silver Age. Sorry, I'm still in the habit, I guess. We could shelter here, but I think I'd rather just get the D-React value out of it. Although now we could deny the flick as well. So like we get 2 value out of this, but we're also like gaining a bunch of life, so maybe we don't really care. Oh, Staunch doesn't play. That is true. Yeah, I thought rares were playable in Project Blue. Or I cannot stop saying it. Sorry, in Silver Age, I think rares are playable, right? I think they are. Uh, Otherwise they wouldn't have to ban like root bound and stuff, right? I feel like Staunch has like a more interesting stat line than Unmovable does, but like Unmovable is also like not bad. I don't know. How many T toxins have we seen? Seen just the one? I think we see a couple in pitch still. Definitely not out of the woods just yet. Go ahead and block here. We still have the Sigil in Arsenal, so we're basically immune to CNC. I think we just need to lean into blocking as hard as we can. Even if we do end up getting T toxins, I think it's fine. Right, so Mario Trigger, that's fine. Yeah, it's commons and rares, right? So I think you can play Staunch. But I think the stat line on Staunch is a bit more interesting than Unmovable for me. It's like the 2 for 5, right? Like you can potentially do something with the 1 extra resource, like a piece of equipment or something. Yeah, I think like the D-Reacts that we have in Silver Age right now are not super compelling. So one thing I'm worried about, in addition to the codexes, is the double Justin Nick we saw pitch. That's going to be pretty good in the late game. Yeah, Toby Jugs, Brothers in Arms, Oasis. So I think the stat line's like a little bit more interesting. Oh, I think isn't Oasis banned? I could be wrong. Hold on, let me check. Oasis is not banned. Okay, so Oasis is like totally legal. That's cool. I need to like actually review what the ban list is at some point. Okay, so I think I'm still concerned about Codex, but I think we're just gonna deal with it. Remembrance back some stuff. Let's get back. What are we getting back? So we have 1 Everbloom in the yard. We got like Crumble, Oaken. Like 2 Okens is fine. Get 2 Okens. I think it's reasonable. And just sit on the shelter. Yeah, Oasis is pretty good. I'm surprised Oasis actually isn't banned. I thought for sure it was. Yeah, I'm just like misremembering though. Alright, so we do have to worry about the double Justin Nick pitch stack. I think those are like very close to each other. I think that's like our biggest concern, is just getting blown out by those two. Or at least I think they're like pretty close to each other if they're not like pitch stacked right on top of each other. Okay, so we got 2 and a 3 again. That's a-okay. Scar tissue is fine. I think I'm just gonna fate this. Oh, T toxin as well. So that's second T toxin down. So I think here I am just gonna give a fate and just see what happens. This almost is for sure Codex, which means we block 6 here. Pitch Heart to Sledge on our turn. And bottom that Oaken, I think. We'll take 4 here, which means we're not quite at a lower life total, which is kind of annoying. still a little bit awkward. I kind of want to just like sit on the shelter as long as possible though. Go ahead and do this. Punic is still up, so Coronet Peak's not relevant. But yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and sludge here. Unfortunately, we're not getting the life gain out of the heart, but I don't think we had a real way to do that. Ooh, double Black Widow is unfortunate. I guess this kind of like makes up for the trapdoors kind of early in the game, right? I guess they also could have like used mask to flip as well. So like lots of options they have. All right, how many Diriacs do we still have left? Still have one Fate, one Oasis, no Fiddlers. So we're almost out of Diriacs. How many shelters do we have actually? Where are shelters? Oh, I don't think we have any shelters, so I guess this kind of makes sense. I think we still have one shelter somewhere in the deck at this point. Very concerned about double Justinic, though. Maybe not this turn. I don't think. Ism's fine. We still have that one last T-Toxin we also have to be concerned about. And then also Codex. Oh, I think we're like actually dead here. Codex is going to be really bad. Oh, one thing we can do actually with Codex is we can prevent the flick on the graphene if that matters. One thing we can do is like block like this. They pump. You block here. No, it still doesn't quite work. I think we're just gonna get CNC'd here. I don't think there's really a way around it. We just got to do this, I think. Alright, so there's the T-Toxin, which is affected. Is Fatigue Arrow actually above B tier? Not really. Actually, I think what I have to do here is shelter this because we're expecting a CNC as well. Or we're expecting Codex or potentially third CNC. So you just like have to use the Diriac there. Yeah, this could get awkward. Depends what they schismed into, I guess. That'd actually be a sick like pitch stack. Well, I guess they schismed into a CNC, which is really cool. So yeah, we're going off an Arsenal, or I mean, no reason to block it right now. I think the double Justinic. Well, okay, so actually the Justinics are not pitch stacked anymore because they shuffled, right? Or maybe they haven't been for a while. Maybe the Justinic pitch stack was just a myth, but they're still both in the deck, which is concerning. Yeah, I think we just need to block out as hard as possible here. I think we definitely like punted this game on like many axes, so it's fine if we don't win. Oh, we're getting down to the wire here. All right, let's go ahead and just. I think it's probably time to give up the Coronet Peak. Oh, right, because that's piercing, right? What are we doing instead then? Probably just like block like 3 and then Oasis if we need to. Yeah, the double Justinic is still scaring me a bit. How many Mark of the Black Widows have we seen? I think we still have like blue Mark of the Black Widow we have to worry about. We also have to worry about like CNC. Yeah, we're in trouble here. We're just passing. Because it can beat a decent. I think you can actually beat a decent Verdance with this deck, or at least this version of the deck I'm trying. This is one of those scenarios where the Oasis is like a little bit awkward though. It's surgical is okay. Is it time to give up the Tunic? We're getting pretty low. I think it might just be better to still give up Coronet Peak even though it's like less efficient. Let's do this, I think. I think this kind of makes sense. So Shred is fine. Now this gives us an excuse to Oasis. Target ourselves. We'll gain an extra 2 life here. Maybe we're expecting the shred. Anyways, I think we did see it in pitch at one point. So like we probably could have known shred was coming. Oh yeah, we're in danger. We are definitely in trouble. I think there are a lot of like micro things we could have done a lot earlier in the game though that would have led to us being at a little bit higher of a buffer. I think we took a lot of like weird cute plays that I think were not necessarily correct. The pulse here. We like kind of have to block this or else we die. I almost want to just like pulse this. Yeah, I am gonna like pulse this. It's so weird, but I think it's like correct, maybe. Because like it's pretty likely the tarantula comes in here. Let's go ahead and pulse. Feels kind of bad. No, actually, I'm not. I'm gonna stick to my guns. This is like actually terrible, I think. Arguably we should have blocked here, maybe? I don't know. Sorry, I'm losing my mind later in the night. I thought for some reason we were gonna be able to like block with both crumbles, and that would have made this play like a little bit better. I think as it is now, this play is like pretty. I guess there's still kind of have to block here. Yeah, so the correct play there, I think, was to block with the crumble, or just take it and go to 3, and then just like hold on to the pulse, so maybe that gets us back in the game. Yeah, I think I like bungled that turn pretty bad. X is definitely awkward. So they cannot buff this, which means we can send sled. I don't think they're. Oh no, this is just a Nick, right? The just Nick kills. So I need to do this. I think we might just be dead to just Nick. I think we do kind of have to respect it. I think we're like out of stuff at this point. I punted. Oh boy. All right, so we punted this game like pretty bad. That's fine though. So this is double just Nick almost certainly because we have not seen either of this. Might even be triple just Nick. So I'm just going to block. How many 1 cost do we have left in the deck? A lot, probably. So this is double just Nick. This pumps to a lot, and then we die. Might actually be a block 12 scenario. I think we just need to run them out of out of targets for double just Nick. Wait, that's our path to victory? I don't think this block is actually wrong. Because we know we saw the 2 at least, and then we potentially have a third one. Like, the chances of us getting triple just Nick here are, like, astoundingly high. This is a very funny game, though. Alright, we might be getting triple just Nick. Yeah, just Nick can also target another attack, which is kind of funny. Because that's pretty good. Alright, so not wrong to block 12 there. We still have potentially one more thing to do after. Or I mean, I think we just died of Flick at this point, right? GG's. I think we punted several times in that game. That's okay. What is our current time? I think we definitely had some better value lines that game. Give Tasha a GG though. Couldn't get them on the run back, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I made one too many misplays that game. So actually, hold on, how many just Nicks were there? Was it just the 2 just Nick? Oh no, we only saw. Wait, did we shut? Oh, you know what happened? I think there was only 1 just Nick in the deck, but the Schism shuffled, so I think we thought there were 2 just Nicks in the deck. That's very funny. I was playing around double just Nick for like basically the entire game, but I think the Schism actually like pranked us really hard. Unless I'm like missing the second just Nick somewhere. But I think it's only the 1 right? That's very well played though. I think we definitely made a lot of misplays though, mainly because it's getting pretty late. What time is it right now? How long have we been going? 2:34. It's probably about time to call it. All right. Let's go over the deck. So I think we definitely could have made that Mario game a little bit better, but I think one like downside we're seeing of this deck is that it's kind of hard to pilot this deck over like a long period of games, right? I think that like you kind of saw that I was getting a little bit fatigued towards the end there, but I think it's mainly because I've just been working all day. But yeah, I think that is one of the downsides of playing this deck is just like the mental aspect of it. But yeah, it's very funny. Like I think this deck is good. It's just like from a logistical standpoint, it's very hard to pilot this deck to like the full capacity, which I think is very important. We did pretty okay today. What do we play against? We played against the Gravy like scooped. The flooring game we got pretty good, and then the Mario game obviously we lost. But Tasha is also a very good player, so shout out to her. But yeah, I think I still think this deck has a lot of legs. I think the Hungry for War is still not like fully sold on this card. Like maybe this card is just better as like some other D React or like another tech card, like maybe like a Midas Touch. I think it has helped a lot into Verdance is what I found, but maybe the Poison Walls just like do a good enough job, and like the Oasis as well. So like maybe you don't actually need Hungry for War, but it is kind of interesting, especially like a 2 of. But yeah, I'm probably gonna leave it there. I think this deck is still pretty good. Again, it's kind of like similar to our budget Griefer deck. Let me pull that up actually. So pretty similar, I guess, in theory to the budget Griefer deck. Just kind of like running a few better cards and kind of cutting the Earth cards, which I think can sometimes like cause you to have issues where like um, you basically like have to like give up tempo and stuff like that. So yeah, I think overall, I think we learned a couple things at least. So I'm gonna keep like tweaking this deck and see if we can improve on it a little bit. But yeah, thank you all for joining the stream. I'll go ahead and post the link. Yep. But also I wanted to give some shout outs at the end of the stream. So we just hit 2K subs, so I'm really grateful to all you all. So thank you all for watching. We'll probably do like a little 2K mini celebration before our like big celebration, but the big celebration is going to be our charity stream. So let me go ahead and link that. So this is our charity stream. We're going to be raising money for New Avenues for Youth. The giveaway is going to start on November 8th, and we're basically going to be doing like a 24-hour stream, which is going to be a bit of fun. But yeah, excited to do that. There are also going to be some giveaway stuff, so we've been working on getting a token commissioned. Let me see if I can pull up the latest image from that. Give me 1 second. But the token is looking really sick. Let me pull open. Hold on. Open link. Yeah, so this is currently the Marlin token that we're still working on. Like there are a couple like little work in progress elements. But yeah, we're getting this token commissioned. You can also see like the little Zen face up there. But I'm really excited about this token, which is gonna be awesome. We got like the kind of like streetwear Marlin going on, which is pretty sick as well. So super excited about this, and this is also going to be part of the giveaway for the stream. So if you donate over like a certain amount, I think we're gonna settle like $20. But we'll basically like mail you a token for free and stuff like that. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed the stream. We're gonna be doing the giveaway the giveaway stream on November 8th. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But yeah, I think on Friday we might be doing some more Marlin. I think I'm actually gonna try to enlist Tegan to help me practice the Gravy matchup a bit, because I know Tegan's been looking for reps. So I think Friday we're gonna be doing some Marlin labbing. And yeah, I think I'm probably just gonna leave it at that. So thank you all for stopping by, and I'll see y'all later.